No, I was just going to add, I think that there are tactics that they're using that that we don't necessarily push as hard enough on. For example, sometimes they'll create an organization within the school that might be a 501c3. They'll actually get the designation for 501c3 within the school, so then they could do fundraising, and then they have a pot of money, but they formalize it sometimes in ways that we don't necessarily formalize it, that I have seen, and this is on my very limited experience, but as a parent, that's what has happened within schools that, my son goes to, is that they formalize, they say, okay, I'm going to have a PTA, but I'm not only going to have the PTA, but I'm also going to make it a 50C3 within the organization, so then I can get donation and money, and then I can create formal fundraising. And then once I have a body of money, then I also then have some leverage to say, okay, this is where this money goes, and this is where this money can go. And then also within that community, they then sometimes will have within, they're very, I wouldn't say that we're not pushy, but sometimes I think we're not pushy enough. Sometimes they can be so much more pushier, they can be bullies in the community where they're bullying the principal or they're bullying teachers and they're pushing them out because they're just much more aggressive than which we should be much more aggressive, because sometimes our students are the ones who are not gaining from really what's happening in school. And then the other thing is I think that it's important that they then create alliances and they create groups within in which they are informally discussing and talking to one another. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an in-person group, but they're creating a WhatsApp app. And then they're, or a discussion group, which they're a Google discussion group, which they then can get information out really quickly about what's going on the grassroots level within the school and say, hey, this is an issue. There's bullying in second grade. There's such and such having it in fifth grade. What are we going to do about it? And then they're all putting their thing, okay, we're going to write a letter. Here's the letter. We need you all to sign the letter. And then we're going to send it to the school board because now we all have it signed. But their mobilization is a little sometimes, and I don't want to say they. I think sometimes we're not creating those outlets where we're quickly mobilizing in that way. So those are just some of the tactics.